Hi, this will be a video where I will explain you why I decided to delete my Facebook app, LinkedIn app, so I don't have. So let's start. I felt for quite some time that all those apps are taking like too much of my time, and I also knew that they are somehow affecting me psychologically, because maybe you can relate to that, where you just feel the urge to just see what has happened, and you're flicking that screen and the time goes on like it just vanishes. Hours and hours. And lately, maybe you know, I have a daughter. I also had to approve some app, and I also saw how many hours she's using her phone, which I'm guessing that she's using even less than her friends, but it was quite a lot. And putting that into perspective, I calculated that my use is even greater. And lately I also saw this movie, The Social Dilemma, which I recommend everyone to see.
When you go to Google and type in climate change is, you're going to see different results depending on where you live and the particular things that Google knows about your interests.
That's not by accident, that's a design technique.
And they explained quite in simple terms that how they're using small nudges to nudge you into the direction of what they want, mainly to make money. And the most frightening thing about this is that all those systems, which maybe initially they were not made up with some evil intent, but in effect now they don't really have much control over that. Also, I listened to a podcast which is about the Nobel laureates who received the Nobel Prize for Economics for using natural experiments. Over 30 years ago, I'll explain you shortly, over 30 years ago they just took data from like similar regions, for example one region where there was a lot of influx of immigrants, and some other region where they did not this kind of influence, and they just compared those two, and it's called like a natural experiment where you can derive information based on real data, not just hunches or suggestions how you feel, but what the data really shows. And what those two things have in common: this movie Social Dilemma, which is about the influence of all those apps into the psychology of the human nature, and this Nobel Prize, because now Facebook and other big tech companies, they're doing this kind of this kind of experiments on real people in real time, all day long, all the time. So me, you, everybody are part of that experiment, which I didn't like that much. And to be in part of this kind of experiment, and to be bought and sold for like mere cents to get my attention or to make my click. And another frightening part of it is that actually all those algorithms are made as such as they're actually pushing more radical information, what makes you feel something like anger, this kind of feelings, and it spreads misinformation 6 times more than truthful information. And I see that in Estonia and around the world, that the world is getting more polarized. For example, in Estonia too, this discussion between the vaxxers and anti-vaxxers. Here let me state, I'm vaccinated, I'm for it, but I don't like that the situation is kind of getting out of hand. People are getting into too heated conversations. They start hating each other, and there were even instances where like anti-vaxxers, they are making some scenes in the shops. They're demanding that they be served without the mask and these kind of things, and they're harassing the shopkeepers. This kind of radicalization. Also in the political scene, In Estonia, I see it, people are getting kind of right-leaning, more nationalistic. It is shown quite clearly with the rise of this EKRE, which is Estonia, how it's called, let me just check. So this party EKRE, which is Eesti Konservatiivne Rahvaerakond, which is Estonian conservative national party. And how did it rise to power? Just having constant scandals in the parliament, saying some outrageous things, and also being very nationalistic that no, we don't want any employees from abroad, and this kind of Estonia for Estonians. This is crazy. Actually, this will hurt most of those people who are voting for this party. But let's come back to our topic, that this kind of radicalization, you may call it, or like extreme views, are making us go apart from each other. And it's not only in Estonia, it's worldwide. It's even in the US, where like Democrats hate the conservatives, and they hate them even more. You can look at the statistics. I don't want to bore with that. So, in short, that is the reason why I don't have those apps anymore. That actually does not mean that I'm not going to use this Facebook and LinkedIn. I'll be using them for business purposes, obviously, to target future customers and renters and these kind of things, because obviously I can't do without it. But I would rather pay a few cents to Facebook to target some people than waste hours and hours of my life and risk my psychological health by being like an addict, flicking those apps all the time. So that's my suggestion to you. Will anything change? Maybe not. I will be still posting YouTube videos because that's a hobby I like. Maybe even I'll post more videos because I have more time not flicking the phone. And I'll keep also one blog because I wrote quite a lot with handwriting, which I haven't done for quite some time. It was quite an experience. Okay, thank you very much for watching this. Delete the apps, be free, go outside, enjoy the nature. See you.